Shalom, y'all. Peace. I don't know if this gonna end up in peace. My intention is for peace, but today is the 4th, the Sabbath. Happy Sabbath to all who acknowledge and are enjoying to this letter. But today, I'm watching the film that big bro, I like to call my uncle, Nehemiah. You see him on Facebook. It's J Straughter, J Nehemiah Straughter. You know, he posted a video of a lady and her 2 daughters was on a show with Tyra Banks. And this lady, her name was Shirley. Daughters, Rebecca, I forgot the other lady name. But all 3 of these women, I would at least say, long story short, for the film's sake, that film in particular, they went hard for the Most High God. Period. They went hard, and I appreciate that, especially coming from Edomites or Esau, or let's say the Caucasians for those who don't have the knowledge. They actually was defending God so well that you could just see Tyra questioning her own God inside, and since she getting paid so much money and since she's under contract, she did so much smoothing over in the conversation. But they are a group of people that I later on found out after watching some more videos. That video alone let me watch them, because they're called America's most hated American family, something to that nature. It's an 8-part film with an interviewer. I guess his name is Lewis. And as he interviewed these people in the midst of these 8 parts, come to find out they go to a church called WESTBORO Baptist, so they're Baptists. There's a preacher, he's a priest, he's roughly 80-something years old, and he governs everything. And I saw her be asked, was she in a cult? She denied it. But after reinvestigating all parts, they are in a cult. Now, to get it out the way, I will say some good things about them. They definitely go hard in their service. They play no games. They have time for nothing else. They do put God first. They follow that first commandment. I give that to them all the day long. They have no problem with preaching the gospel. They have no problem with telling you or condemning you right there in your face, justifying you right there in your face. They don't have like friends. They only call themselves acquaintance for people they affiliate with because they agree with Christ, saying, my mother and my brother are these who do the will of my Father. That's the only family that they have. That's the only family I have. Now, in the midst of seeing all 8 parts from what they do, they put outside, they do a lot of outwardly things, not to say that they are doing it intent for outward sake, but they do outwardly things, meaning things you can see on the outside for their services. They go a lot of, like, in particularly funeral homes. Again, they have a beef with America, but they go to funeral homes, not funeral homes, but funerals, and they like protest. They make signs saying forget the gay troops, God hates gays, they all going to hell, which they don't have the power to say, but they go hard. They don't play no games. They, like, the very next celebrity or anybody famous start preaching gay, or if they're like they would call a gay enabler, they're gonna make a poster about you, celebrity, whoever you are, if you ever see this film. I'm just a local though. And to get to what I have a problem with, because see, this is shots fired at y'all. Y'all first said, at least the man, because I listen to the women how they all talking when they get together, and you guys are some powerful women when y'all amongst. But gotta go to the head. And Lewis interviewed one of the new dudes. He had a blue shirt predominantly. He's very intelligent and he goes off logic predominantly. But the men are a little too arrogant, which produces the women to be arrogant. But at least I can say about the women, they are the only reason that the women in that household or in that church that happens to be 70 members, it's coming from the men first. And it passed on down. I'm seeing that myself. And I watched all 8 parts before I'm saying what I'm finna say. And this is what I do have to say. As far as the men are concerned, there's some issues. The man who was getting interviewed before the priest, he stated that, he's out there putting up signs and they happen to be the righteous group. And the guy interviewed saying, wait, it's only 70 members. So outside of these 70 members, even though you are so-called preaching the gospel, you're saying that everyone in this circle's hellbound, which is false. He said out of his lips, If they not with his church, or if they was down with his church or doing the same thing that was with his church, they be putting up signs too. So that concludes, or they would conclude out of their mouth, they are the most righteous church. They are the most serious about God. Nobody, no other affiliation on earth, not just in their hometown, not just in the state, on earth, serves God on the level that they do. I almost want to look at that camera for about 5 minutes with a serious face and see if you want to test my nuts and hang me on a cross like they did my Father Christ. Because I'm getting ready to take on personal ownership of what Christ mean to me, as hard as y'all went about being the only church. Then after being the only church, Lewis goes in and for a session. They warn him about the session. And they say, hey, watch your mouth. Don't ask no questions. Don't do nothing stupid. Don't do nothing lying. And he was like, wait a minute. Would it be for the preacher's sake? For my sake? They're like, wait, for your sake. He's not going to get embarrassed. You're going to get embarrassed. Mute. That patient guy, even though they condemned him saying he going to hell because he approves of being gay and all that, which they don't have no authority to do, he sat there and he listens to the session. He fully takes everything in that they bring it to him. Though. They're not even peeping their spirit. But he taking it all in. And I'm taking it in as this preacher speaks. This preacher gets very arrogant in his speech. And he says that if anybody preaches the opposite of what he preached, they're flat out a false prophet. Period. Like he has the ultimate right. Everything that come out of his mouth is always pure and that he can make no mistakes. The only person I've known so far to be able to pull that off fleshly is Christ. For them 33 years. He's the only person able to pull that off. So what is this old man talking about? Then after the interview, because he said some very harsh things, and I think it's like, if you don't know the parts, it's called America's Most Hated Family. It was in between 5 through 8 parts. I think from 5 was the actual church meeting, to 6 he get interviewed and all that. But okay, he has his church session. That was polluted, period. And he was very arrogant and very authoritative. He brought not one scripture to the table. He didn't even read the Bible. The Bible wasn't even on the table. That's a flaw. I was cool with the whole affiliation until I started looking at the men there. And after that session, he gets interviewed by the guy. And the guy, of course, he chokes and he asks him, how many members you got in your family. Unnecessary questions. But when he do ask proper questions, the guy replies and says, asked and answered, next question. Asked and answered, next question. Every time the dude kind of come with, questions, he's like, do you think you're the highest prophet? Do you think you're the most righteous prophet of them all? You think you're the one out of all preaching? This dude doesn't even answer on camera, and he had his opportunity. I'll answer on camera if I had that opportunity. Any question that man Lewis asks all of you during those interviews, I would answer thoroughly. I give it to your daughters, Shirley. Your daughters definitely know how to answer some questions. They've been trained well, but you guys have a God head, and it's not Christ. I do apologize. Unfortunately, to inform you, that guy is your Godhead. You guys believe on flesh. Even the guy said, you guys are supposed to be on a spiritual movement, but after a session, after going to your church meeting, it seems very carnal. It seems very fleshly. And it is at the end of the day. The first commandment Abraham was told to do was be fruitful and multiply. You guys aren't doing that if you feel like you have to always go out and tell them how condemned they are, and that's it. All you guys have break, no build. Christ was a carpenter. If you guys are following him, he built it. Yeah, he called people hypocrites, devils. Yeah, he broke them down as needed. But as soon as it was needed to build them up, like a twinkle of an eye. I didn't see that out of none of you. None. Not a soul. You guys have no build. You were quick to tell somebody they're going to hell with a smile, like you've already been saved. I don't know what that man is preaching to y'all, but it's a good thing that y'all saying might be saved. Just make sure that it applies to you as well. And the newcomer himself, it's good that you have that zeal. It's good that you are actually coming in. It's like you believe, you're fully persuaded. That's fine, as long as you could bring, like you said, logic, proof, answers. But you yourself don't get high-minded because you are a newcomer. You ain't been here long enough. You was on thin ice that well. I mean, you got so high-minded that you tried to say there's nobody else out here. Otherwise, they be holding a sign. Well, I'm holding a sign right here. What you gonna do about it? Right here. And I say every sign. I don't got to make no sign of nothing. but I'll preach and I'll do whatever it takes to get done. And this ain't no competitive level, but you said you guys are only affiliation. We got to start doing some stunt moves and start shining our armor, I pull it all out. And you'll definitely see that you all have a lot of work to do. You got some scriptures, but y'all still have a lot of work to do. And I'm not trying to say it like I'm better than y'all or nothing. I'm talking about you all don't have no humility, so I got to give it to y'all. And y'all need some. It's cool that your daughters are not having sex with men. They don't plan on getting married because these are the last days. They don't want to risk it, but they are made women, and they are supposed to be made women duties. I'm not saying they have to have a man, but they should have that patience and endurance. Just wait a little minute. Don't be so quick to say that everybody wicked, so every man that might encounter you, you don't even want to open your vessel up to. You don't want to take, that's your free will right, but to say that you can't see no good in them, that's a problem. And that's WESTBORO Baptist Church. I got some scriptures for y'all that y'all need to pay attention to. Because, yeah, y'all repeat a lot of stuff that's in the Bible, but y'all don't really have, like, chapter and verse or a way to guide somebody to those scriptures that y'all believe in. I hope y'all understand that you do need that, so that they can go ahead and teach others what you guys know that you all are defending and passing on, so that y'all won't feel so hated for it. Because some of the hatred towards y'all is righteous hatred, unfortunately. You can't force feed no one to do the righteousness. You can just do your work and keep it pushing. But to tell somebody they are flat out going to hell, you don't got that authority. You are never Christ. But some scriptures for y'all, because y'all even mentioned them, but y'all ain't have a verbatim. First one, Matthew 12, verses 36 and 37. When you told that man, that interviewer, Shirley, that out of his own mouth he condemned himself and he's going to hell, you got to understand what you're doing. It's cool to say, look, out of your own mouth, you have put yourself at that risk. It's up to you and God at that point. But for you to tell them, like they don't have breath in their body at all, like they can't change in an hour or a day or in a year, that they are going to hell, you don't serve my God Christ. You're trying to. You'll want to be at that point. You've immediately demoted yourself. All of you. You are too proud. You got the zeal. You got a lot of qualities. Don't slip to the point where you're going to cast yourself in a lake of fire because you're not paying attention to yourself and what you're saying and what's coming out of your mouth. Another scripture. Yeah, y'all watch me. So for y'all sake, you get your Ezekiel chapter 3, verse 17 through 21. Take care of y'all nation. Take care of y'all people. Y'all say y'all not against blacks, but as far as your affiliation, I haven't seen y'all talk to one black soul, except for Tyra on the show. You guys never shook hands with a black, conversated with a black, and the only reason I'm saying is black because it's a level that you guys can understand. But we are the real Jews. The blacks, the Negroes, the African Americans, to inform you guys. Ask your pastor. I don't know his name, but you know they have websites, GodHatesAmerica.com and the sign the signs of the time.net, the signs of the times.net. These are both for their sites. I challenge. I want to come and speak with that Godhead of yours, but he already proved as a failure. If he can't go to his own nation and his own kind and talk to them in respect, this man almost condemned him on camera, cursed him out on camera, and he didn't even answer his questions on camera. And he told him he didn't even want to talk to him, didn't even want to let him in his church. That is not being fruitful and multiplying. Satan want to come into church and get a lesson. You got to let him come and get a lesson. But if he messes up, you kick him out. God will protect you. He make sure they go out. You never take on the authority of God. And that's what your guys' Godhead are doing for WESTBORO's Baptist Church. So that shot's fired. If y'all continue preaching that movement, that is falsehood, anybody who goes to that church and know about those 70 members, be mindful and watchful of that. Because see, the first few films, like with Tyra, I was great with them. I looked at them as my mothers and sisters and all of them were my family, even though they're a completely different nation and their nation hates us. But them particular souls, because I don't judge people as a nation. I judge people by what they do, what they show me. They did very good on the show, but outside of that, y'all got some stuff that we work with. Please get back to me and contact me because I'm going to be looking out for y'all. I'm going to be watching some more films and I'm going to be investigating any other false group, which you guys have now turned to. Y'all are close but no cigar. Very close but no cigar if y'all gonna let him be our guy ahead and preach what he preached. If every session goes on in church like that, then I see how y'all get beside yourselves and why a lot of things happen that are just basically unnormal and y'all take it like, okay, this is God showing that we doing the right thing. No, y'all getting hated for the hatred that you all are exposing. God's hate and y'all hated two different things. It should never be easily seen. So shalom to all who agree and see to this. Please investigate that, y'all. The links, it should be the most hated in America. You can go on my page. Brandon Tyrus Israel Williams is on Facebook. It's right there on the front. You can watch that film if you cannot pull it up on YouTube yourself. Please give me feedback, and I am waiting to hear from WESTBORO Baptist Church. Shots fired.